Hello, everyone. This is Anu Kabli. I'm a realtor at IQI Global Real Estate Canada, and welcome to IQI Canada Evening Talk. So, before I begin, I would like to let everyone know about our call today at 9 p.m. EST sharp. So, my friends, don't forget to log on to our page, IQI Canada, in Facebook, and get the registration link over there. We are going to explore opportunities in real estate career in the booming Canadian market with Juwai IQI. You will be hearing from our CEO, VP, directors. So don't miss out on this Beyond Borders Leadership Conference. So get into the IQI Canada page and get yourself registered for free and get into this call at 9 p.m. EST. All right. So today with me, ladies and gentlemen, we have the most experienced mortgage specialist from the Bank of Montreal, Mr. Joseph Mazzuca. Hey Joe, how are you?
Not too bad, Anu. Thank you for having me again. I hope you and your family are staying safe.
Oh, yes, thank you, and welcome to IQI Evening Talks. I hope you are also keeping safe in the strict restrictions that was issued yesterday night, I guess, right?
Yeah, definitely interesting times that we're facing right now, but the human race is proving resilient. So, what's a few more days at this point? We still have each other, so let's stick it out together.
I know, and I guess everybody remains safe, and very truly said that, we want to be safe than sorry. And I guess we are only venturing out just for the dire needs of getting groceries and only if it is work related. So,
Yeah, yeah. If, unless you got something that's really tickling you that you're not going to be able to get the stores, at least you can have stuff like Amazon that you can order it to the house and everybody can stay safe.
true, true. And I'm actually enjoying that. No more grocery lines for me. Hey, Yosef, how are you? Hope you're well. And you know what? It is good that it is, I guess it's for everybody's benefit. I hear mixed reviews from all my families and friends. Somebody like the lockdown, somebody is not liking it. But at the end of the day, it's for everybody's benefit, right? And I hope we come out of this soon. The whole world is out of it soon.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun teaching my parents all the new tech skills, and now I got them as Prime members too. So it was actually pretty funny.
I know it is an awesome thing. My kids are learning how to get their toys. Oh, mom, can we get this toy? I was like, all right. Oh, we looked into the Amazon. So yeah, so that is fun part. Everybody's learning this new way. Okay, so yes, Joe, this is your second time coming with us online,
Yes.
and the last discussion that we had was on mortgages. It was really very helpful to many of our viewers. You were very clear on how the banks can be, helpful to us with mortgages, especially during these times. And many of our viewers wanted to know more about the first time mortgages. So to address them, you were the man who came into our minds. And as a mortgage specialist from BMO Bank of Montreal, uh, I thought you would be the best person who can explain us. So why don't you tell our viewers about yourself and the extensive experience that you have?
Well, I definitely appreciate you keeping me in mind for the follow-up conversation here. I'm truly honored. A little bit about myself with my experience at the bank. So for 3 years, I was actually on the other side of preparing people to be able to buy their houses as my
Right.
role as a financial planner. So getting the savings plan, making sure everybody has the down payment ready to go, and
Yes.
then it's off to the mortgage specialist. But now going into my with Bank of Montreal 7 years, this would be year four of financing for me as a
Wow.
whole. And now, yeah, it's I've been truly blessed to be able to have the opportunity to work at Bank of Montreal for so long. And yeah, now I get to be a part of uh, planning for a different regard. But today we're going to focus our conversation specifically to our first time home buyers
Hmm.
because there's definitely a lot of maybe some stuff that's kind of overlooked. So
Hmm.
hopefully that I can address that and make things clear for your prospective buyers.
Awesome. No, thank you, and we are totally looking forward to it. I should actually first of all thank Ms. Aman Paldesi, the Vice President with Mortgage Specialist at BMO, to have introduced us. And I will also let our viewers know that BMO and IQ have very strong relationships, and we have been working as partners since last couple of years now. both BMO and IQI, Joe, you would agree that we love to educate our viewers, and it's all without any obligation, right? So feel free to message us if you have any queries about real estate or mortgages. We are here to help you, and we are more than happy to help you, actually. So today, ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about first-time home mortgages, and we will try to address some common questions that we get from people from time to time. So shall we begin, Joe?
Of course, let's go.
Awesome. So, okay. So let's begin with the first question that comes to my mind. Like, what is the first step for purchasing a first home?
Yeah, so for any first-time home buyer, I would highly, highly, highly recommend them to get a pre-approved mortgage before we get into the conversation of actually looking to make any commitments to any purchases. And there's the different benefits that are going to come with that as well. So first
Mm-hmm.
thing that comes to mind is it helps you determine what your total budget is on what you can actually purchase with the total savings that you have in the financing that you can actually qualify for. Because bottom line, this is going to be the biggest investments that many people are going to make in their entire lives.
Absolutely.
We're not talking about a small debt that you're going to be taking on. We're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars, especially with
Mm-hmm.
the real estate prices that we're experiencing right now.
Yeah.
And yeah, you definitely want to feel like you're right at home when you are making this first purchase that's so critical to your livelihood. The second reason would be at Bank of Montreal. I can't speak about other lenders, but we do also offer a 130-day rate guarantee with any pre-approved offers that you have. And in my recent experience, we've actually been starting to see the quoted rates for mortgages start increase over the past month. And this can be a way to help minimize the total amount that you need to pay in interest for this big investment that you're making, what you're going to be calling home.
Mm-hmm.
And you have that 4-month window to be able to close the financing, and you can also take advantage of a great rate. So that's amazing, and that's huge. The
Exactly.
third one is that you can actually start planning your monthly budgeting, because you are going to be taking on a quite significant monthly payment that you're not used to making for however long. Maybe you have, but for the most part, for first-time homebuyers, the first mortgage that they're taking on. And you need to effectively plan for this so that you can continue to live your life comfortably, because
Right.
you don't want to be living at a home where you don't even feel comfortable in your own place, because you need to try to figure out on how you need to pay this debt back. And
Mm-hmm.
then lastly, this just helps you remove the stress from the whole home buying process as a whole. Uh, there's a lot of uninherited stress from
Mm-hmm.
first-time home buyers, anyways, just because there's going to be a lot of knowledge that's going to be coming to them. And with this pre-approval in your back pocket, when Anu has helped you find that perfect home within your budget, and you can live comfortably, well, you're going to call me back, and we can easily transition this into a regular mortgage so that you have the financing ready to go, and
Mm-hmm.
we don't have to have that short time frame to be able to try to find that financing and close in time. It's already done. We just need to just convert things, just get some more income updates just because time has passed,
Mm-hmm.
and now we can help you call home, and why not take that stress out?
Absolutely. So certainly very good pointers from you. So we should plan our finances in advance, and the rate is held by BMO for 120 days. That I heard correct?
130 days actually.
130 days. There you go. So it is a good rate to hold up, and it is awesome step to get pre-approved. And you were very correct. It is good to have it at in your hands, and you should be ready to close whenever you want it, right? So that is
Exactly.
a great advice. So thank you for that. Uh, the second question which comes to my mind, Joe, is many people actually ask me, like, what is the minimum down payment? Can we go with 0% down? Can we go with 5% down? Everybody wants to go with the minimum, right? So tell us, like,
Yeah.
what is the minimum down payment I would need if I want to purchase my first house?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a little bit sad to let all this savings that you've developed go away so quickly. But you're gaining the asset, number one. But number two,
Mm-hmm.
reflecting to the question that you asked, the minimum deposit that you actually need to make is 5% of the purchase price.
Okay.
However, since this is going to be under 20% of the purchase price, you're actually going to need to qualify for a little bit of a higher mortgage, even though the math says a specific amount. So, as an
Mm-hmm.
example, if you're looking at a $500,000 house and you have $25,000, the math says my mortgage should only be $475,000. But because it's under the 20%, the lender, myself, actually needs to add an insurance premium, and this is a
Correct.
government legislation that we need to follow. So
Mm-hmm.
after we're adding the insurance premium in, the actual mortgage that you're going to be taking on is $494,000. So that can play a big factor
Yes.
to actually completing the purchase of your price. And definitely don't need to try to get any potential lawsuits on your hand if you can't find the applicable financing to be able to complete the purchase.
Mm-hmm. Yep, yep. No, very well said. So there is the CMHC fee that is involved. So we need to take care of that, and certainly that, and obviously people can come to you all, and you can guide them very well. Obviously based on how much is their sources of income, etc. Too, right? Which brings me to this another question, which many first-time buyers again, they try to arrange their down payment as they're just beginning their lives, and few of them would want to like know what is the valid source they can have for the down payment for the new home purchase? Is it only the savings that is in their bank account?
Yeah, so the best thing obviously is to have your own source of savings. So it can be like cash in the bank account, like you were talking about. But we can also look at long-term investments that some people have had. So some people will have GICs that might be coming up to
Mm-hmm.
maturity that they can access
Yep.
funds, maybe some mutual funds that they can be able to take out to be able to put towards their purchase. But sometimes that's not enough, and you're a really good income earner, but you really want to get into the market. Maybe a good family friend or a family member can help you out, giving you a gift deposit. But with the gift deposit, there does need to be an acknowledgement that there is no repayment terms back to that
Okay.
person that gave you. Um, but there's definitely different ways that we can find a solution to be able to buy your dream home.
Okay. Okay. That's very interesting to know. So there has to be a like a written statement from them that you don't have to repay them back. It's like a gift, basically.
Correct. I actually have,
Mhm.
like, with all my clients that actually do need to take advantage of this, I actually have a template that I can easily share with them so that they can fill it out accordingly and return it to me, just so that we can have that acknowledgement on record.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or you can go with the GICs or the RRSPs or any other mutual funds that you have to take out money, right? That's good to
Exactly.
know. Yep, very
Exactly.
nice, very nice. And the millennials, they're very clear in their minds, right? They are very organized. So I think they know, they have the experience, and they know they have to do their RSPs, they have to do their GICs, and have savings to get their down payment. But again, they also want to know like what team of people they should be, ready with when they are out to purchase a house. They would ask me, especially like, who should I go for the mortgage, right? Who should I go for the closing? So, what do you recommend? What is a team involved when you want to go purchase a house?
So I like to call it the trio. You have the mortgage advisor, which is myself. Then you have a rockstar real estate agent and Anu that's going to help you find good value
Mhm.
for the budget that we're able to determine. And you're also going to need a solicitor to be able to
Mhm.
register the ownership of the property in your name, and to also offer this. It's optional, but I highly recommend taking title insurance to help protect you from any fraudulent activity, and you can
Mhm.
maintain ownership into the property as well. We have our three beautiful heads working together so that we can
Yes.
keep you safe and sound in your house.
Yep, absolutely. And this trilogy can, help them to the smooth closing, I should say, right? And
Yes.
again, a very, very important question, actually. So, which very many people actually ask me this. So, what information would I need to provide when applying for the home financing for my first purchase? Because they're very reluctant, they're first time buyers, they're very reluctant what document is needed. So, can you please explain a little bit on that?
Yeah, so with any application that I'm going to be starting, we actually need full financial disclosure. So this would
Okay.
include materials like your pay stubs if you're a salaried employee,
Yeah.
tax forms, so stuff like your T4 slips for the
Yeah.
past 2 years. If you're self-employed, we're going to need your business financials, because we just need to
Mm-hmm.
see the trace of the source of the income. If by chance, if you happen to overshoot the pre-approval process, we'll also need the purchase agreement, because we need to be figure out what we're looking into and what property that we are going to be addressing.
Mm-hmm.
3 months bank statement, because we do need to see a 90-day history of your
Yeah.
savings before the purchase. Again, going back to the gifts, we need that gift letter signed and acknowledged by all the parties that are going to be involved,
Yeah.
just to make sure that we're all kosher on our end. And the bottom line is, I would highly recommend just being completely honest about any existing debts that you have, because
Mm-hmm.
if we're addressing that at the initial conversation, then we can address it early. We can set the expectations and make sure that we have the means to be able to kind of address any shortfalls at the beginning, and be able to complete the purchase of your new home.
Okay, so pay stubs, T4s, if self-employed, then T4As, 3 bank statements. If we're taking the letter, it should be signed. So awesome. So we have everything sorted over here, and it's very simple, I guess. Clear
Uh,
and straightforward.
yeah, it's simple. You deliver it to me, and I do all the hard work for you.
Awesome. Yeah, that's certainly. If we have somebody, who is so experienced, so very well experienced, I guess you just need the paperwork, and which everybody has, and they just need to provide you on time, right? So we have Akhtar ji as well. So hello, Akhtar ji, how are you? Um, all right. So next question, we are here in the conversation with Mr. Joseph here. So he's talking about the first time buyers. A few more questions which I have actually listed down as well for you. So they ask me this thing, like, what is the bank looking for when I'm applying for home financing? So they ask me, like, as we were discussing, like they need pay stubs, they need T4A. So what is actually the bank looking when I'm applying for home financing?
Yeah. So the bottom line is that the bank wants to be able to see that you can actually be able to pay your mortgage comfortably, not
Mm-hmm.
just for 1 year, 2 years, for the entire time that you're going to be on the hook for this mortgage. Because
Mm-hmm.
bottom line, we're not in the business to force you to sell your house just so that you can preserve your credit. We want you to be able to call your place at home. So it's all going to boil down to the monthly payments that you need to make,
Mm-hmm.
including the new housing expenses, and if the income that we have there to be able to support all these obligations that you need to pay.
Right, right. But why do we, like they would come to me, ask me is if we don't have a credit history, how does that affect? Do we really have to have credit history?
Yes, because we definitely do need to see a track record of the credit worthiness of the
Mm-hmm.
applicant. But it doesn't mean that it's going to be the end of the road, because there are some people that do make some good income. They haven't even taken on something like a credit card, and they haven't been
Right.
able to develop that credit score in the meantime. So the best practice here would be to try to see if you can have someone that can be a co-signer for you,
Okay.
that has that credit history. So at least you have that support with you. But just be advised that the co-signer, even though that they have a credit history, it's not just, okay, this guy has good credit. This person that you're asking to join the loan with you actually still needs to be able to service the new home obligations and then their own obligations. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not just kind of ask anyone that has a pulse. Make sure that you're finding a good candidate so that everybody isn't going to be affected in the process.
Yeah, yeah, that's very true because the other person can get affected too, right? In his credit score if he adds on to your, so you add him in as a co-signer basically, right?
Well, that too, yeah. And then that you don't, for the other person, I'm not going to be 100% clear of what their other objectives are too, because they might
Exactly.
have aspirations to be buying a rental property, or they're going to be looking
Mm-hmm.
to move too. So we have to look, we have to be prepared for both parties involved, just to make sure that everybody can have their wishes.
Absolutely, absolutely. Again, so very interesting, that was really interesting. So to know, so thank you. And a very common question actually, but again, many buyers they forget about it, especially because they're first-time buyers. They don't know what other cost would one be prepared, for the first-time home purchase because they think, okay, I've done my mortgage, that's it. So what other cost do you think? one should be prepared for?
Yeah. So the one fee that comes to mind is the appraisal fee. So
Yeah.
with the home that you're going to commit to buy, the the bank needs to be able to verify the actual value on it, because sometimes there is a discrepancy from the purchase price and what the
Mm-hmm.
actual value of the house is. And at Bank of Montreal, that's a $300 flat fee.
Mm-hmm.
There's also going to be lawyer fees that you need to consider as well. So going back to the title registration and actually registering the ownership of the property in your hands. Usually, like a good benchmark for that is about $1,500, but I would definitely confirm that with your independent legal advice. And
Right.
then a big one that's missed by a lot of people is the land transfer tax, because you need to transfer the ownership and pay the taxes on that to the government, so you can take the ownership there. And it can definitely be something that can be overlooked. There's a lot of online calculators that you can help
Yes.
factor in that budgeting. But yeah, it could get pretty expensive. But for a lot of our first-time home buyers, the good benefit there is that they can actually apply for a rebate from the government as well. So that can help
Mm-hmm.
minimize the cost. But
Right.
you might as well over budget before under budgeting, just to keep yourself safe.
Absolutely. No, so truly very well said. So there is the retailer fee, there is the lawyer fee, and then there is property tax, and there is land transfer tax. Don't forget if you want to change the appliances and everything, and goes on, right? So yes,
Yeah,
everybody should be prepared for the extra cost as well.
yeah.
Another very frequently asked question, and this is like, I guess, we discussed this last time as well, but still, we get this a lot. So, what is the difference between fixed rate and the variable rate with
Yeah.
mortgages?
Yeah, so a fixed rate is exactly what it sounds like. So for a specified amount of time during your mortgage, you're going to be repaying back that mortgage at a specified rate. It won't change throughout the entire time that you're promising the bank, and the bank is promising you that that interest rate is going to stay the same. The
Mm-hmm.
latter is called variable rate. So the variable rate can change in the middle of the term. And it's only going to change if the Bank of Canada ever does come out and say, okay, well, we're going to raise what's called the prime rate, because your
Mm-hmm.
mortgage rate is going to be directly tied to this prime rate. And typically speaking, the norm is if there's going to be any increases to this prime rate, the Bank of Canada will increase it by 0.25% at a time. There
Okay.
have been rare scenarios where it has been a little bit higher than that, but the typical norm is 0.25. Um, but bottom line, like, you need to be taking on an interest rate that's going to fit your needs as well, because there's different penalties that are going to be involved if you want to plan to move in the middle of the term. There can also be other advantages that can be a little bit more preferred, uh, going back to our budgeting perspective for that new debt that you need to fit in. So having that right conversation is where it's going to start, and
Yes.
getting down to the bottom line just so that I can match your goals is what it's all about.
So certainly, when everybody can have different needs, right? So it can be cleared when they talk to you and get to know, like, okay, which would suit them. Either somebody can be good with a fixed rate, or somebody can be happy with a variable rate too, right?
Yeah, it's not a one size fit all solution. Some people are not too comfortable taking on the variable rate, even though typically on paper it can be a lot cheaper than the fixed rates.
Yes.
Some people get nervous, so you got to respect each individual as they please.
As very true, very true. So one last query, actually, what is the difference between the term and amortization of home financing contract? Because people hear that a lot, and that they get a little confused because these are very little, a little highly, I should say, they're like with the high vocabulary, so they don't use that too often. So what is the difference between the term and amortization for the layman?
Yeah, so for the term of the mortgage contract that you're going to be taking on, that goes back to the type of rate that we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So this term can range from 6 months all the way to a 10-year period. And for whatever agreement that we discuss, for that specified amount of time, that's the interest rate that you're going to be repaying that mortgage back. And after that time expires, then you'll give me a call, and we'll talk about what the new term is going to be for the remainder of the mortgage. Well,
Mm.
not for the remainder of the mortgage, for the new term that you're going to be taking on. Sorry, I stand corrected. And the amortization is the total amount of time that you're going to be actually paying that mortgage off. So that can go all the way up to a 30-year time period. It could be less, it could be more, but again, it's going to come down to the conversation that we're going to have and making sure that I'm providing you the best solution possible.
Awesome. So very, 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 very greatly explained to us, and you made it so simple for us. So thank you so very much. And I'm sure many of our first-time buyers would have most of their queries answered. But if you still want to know more, please reach out to Joe. His number is coming up in the banner up there. His knowledge can save you a lot of time, stress, frustration down the road. So please do reach out and seek the expert's advice. Thank you, Joe. And just a little bit of reminder today, my friends, don't forget to log on to our page, IQI Canada at Facebook at 9 p.m. sharp EST. We are going to explore opportunities in real estate career in the booming Canadian market with Juwai IQI. You'll be hearing from our CEO, VPs, and directors. So don't miss out this Beyond Borders Leadership Conference. All right, so for your comfort and peace of mind, make sure that you can reach out to me as well or our IQI team with any queries, and we are here to help with no obligation. So Joe, again, before you sign out, so let us promise our viewers that BMO and IQI will be back again for a live discussion soon. And let's discuss about international buyers this time. What do you say?
For sure. As long as you guys keep calling me back, I'm more than happy to address all of your questions.
It will be a pleasure discussing with you, Joe. I'll totally appreciate that. So thank you, everybody. This is Anu Kabli from IQI Global Real Estate. Stay tuned with the IQI for more evening talks occurring every day at 6 p.m. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. I guess we are still live, Joe. So you can tell your number in the meantime.
Yeah, it's 437-237-9432. Again, that's 437-237-9432. And if you want to email me, it's my first name, period, my last name, at bmo.com.
Awesome, great. And this is Anu Kabli, and my contact number is 647-200-5779. You can reach out to us, you can mail to our IQI Canada site as well. Okay. All right. Thank you again. So Ardavan doesn't seem to, set it off. I guess we can leave the studio then.